Tell your boss he can stick it.
So I think it's that time again. I've ranked the Assassin's Creed settings and even the villains, but there's one that I haven't done, and that is the protagonists of each mainline Assassin's Creed game. And with each different historical era that the games delve into, they introduce some fresh protagonists. Certain characters fall short, appearing dull, unlikable, or both. Meanwhile, some quickly establish themselves as beloved favourites due to their relatable traits and the charm that surrounds them. And with Assassin's Creed Mirage coming out this year, we know that the main protagonist is going to be Basim. So who knows where he would rank once Mirage comes out? Could he be a top 3? Well, for now we'll just have to wait and see. Oh, and just a heads up, this video is purely my opinion. So if you don't agree with anything, that's perfectly fine. Just try not to leave any hate comments. Anyway, with that being said, in this video, I will rank every protagonist from the mainline Assassin's Creed games. If you enjoy these ranking style videos, be sure to subscribe. And without further ado, let's proceed. So with Assassin's Creed Valhalla being the latest entry in the series, it brings a unique twist in selecting its main character. Unlike previous games that offered multiple choices, Valhalla focuses solely on Eivor, a brave Viking warrior. The most interesting part is that we can pick Eivor's gender when starting the game. However, Valhalla falls a bit short in certain aspects, especially when it comes to portraying Eivor as a character. When you compare a dull character such as Eivor to a more intriguing character such as Basim or potentially even Sigurd, Eivor lacks that special charm that makes him truly enjoyable to play as. Although Eivor is generally honest and straightforward when dealing with the hidden ones, there's something missing that keeps them from standing out among other protagonists. The facial animations for Eivor may seem a bit awkward and poorly executed, which lessens their impact, but to be honest that's more to do with the actual game itself. However, it's not all gloomy. Eivor does have a strong sense of right and wrong, and her instincts are always pure. She sets out on raids in England with the aim of building a successful clan, always avoiding unnecessary violence or aggression without any purpose. But despite these few positive traits, Eivor's character fails to make a lasting impression on me, so that's why she's at the bottom of my list. I don't think it's a coincidence that both recent entries in the Assassin's Creed series have protagonists that I put as the bottom two. Just like in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Assassin's Creed Odyssey introduces us to two main characters, one male and one female. However, unlike Assassin's Creed Syndicate, we had to commit to one single character right from the start. And let me tell you, picking Kassandra was definitely the way to go. Kassandra's impressive lineage as the granddaughter of King Leonidas and the daughter of Pythagoras made her a pivotal figure in shaping the destiny of the assassins. Or the demigods? Now here's the interesting part. If you did choose Kassandra, Alexios took on the role of the antagonist, which added a pretty intriguing twist to their dynamic. Both characters showed off their combat prowess, but sadly their dialogue lacked depth and passion, leaving conversations feeling lackluster and disengaged. Despite their impressive backgrounds, Kassandra and Alexios struggled to forge genuine connections with other characters in the game. It was as if they were stuck in a loop, repeating snarky remarks and generic jokes, without truly evolving or facing significant challenges. That's where the problem lies. Their lack of growth and meaningful experiences hindered their ability to make a lasting impact on me. Ultimately, Kassandra and Alexios suffered from a similar predicament as Eivor from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They missed out on the chance to truly be tested and pushed to their limits, which could have brought out their more compelling qualities. Instead, we were left with characters who resorted to cliched banter, failing to capture my imagination. Despite Connor being ruthless and merciful in his acts of violence, he also proved to be a bit uninteresting during conversations, appearing somewhat arrogant and cynical. I know I'm not alone with this opinion, as I have seen so many other people express their dislike for Connor when Assassin's Creed 3 was first released. You see, the main issue that prevents me from fully embracing Connor as a character that I would rank highly is his lack of significant growth throughout the game. He starts off as a naive child and matures into, well, a naive adult, without much development in between. With a complex backstory involving his Templar father and Native American mother, there was ample opportunity to expand and enrich his story. Unfortunately, Ubisoft failed to do that. Even his unwavering loyalty to the assassins is questioned by his father, Kenway. You know, now that I think about it, I even believe Kenway was the most intriguing character in the game, alongside maybe even Charles Lee. The thing with Connor is that he tends to maintain emotional distance from those around him, and even fails to form meaningful connections with others throughout the game. And it is kind of understandable, because it's important to understand that his past trauma of losing his mother when he was young affects how he interacts with people. He's afraid of getting close to someone and going through that pain again. This kind of makes him a more interesting character with different layers, but to be honest, a lot of people actually overlook that factor. It makes him also relatable too. However, the way his character develops in the game could have been better. If Ubisoft had given him a sequel, maybe he would have been considered as a better protagonist. But that's just a pointless case of what if. Arno Dorian took center stage in Assassin's Creed Unity, an immersive story set amidst the turbulent backdrop of the French Revolution. However, throughout the entirety of the story, Arno's interests and aspirations remain somewhat shrouded in confusion, though I must say he does remind me of Ezio in his own way. He possesses an aura around him which makes him a pretty reasonable protagonist in his own right. Arno breaks away from that typical hero mold, you know, the one that's all about changing the world. His reasons for acting are driven by just personal gain, fueled by an immense thirst for revenge against those responsible for his adoptive father's tragic death. Arno's upbringing is more privileged compared to other protagonists in the series, and he possesses genuinely sympathetic traits. However, there are instances where his emotions become a hindrance to him. Like I said before, he does remind me of Ezio, and I'm saying this in terms of his personality. But as the game progresses, Arno becomes kind of boring and loses his charm. If it wasn't for the amazing city of Paris in the game, Unity would have been pretty dull because of Arno's mundane story. Arno's character is a subject of debate among Assassin's Creed fans. Some people view him as a kind and relatable character, with flaws but always trying his best in tough situations. Others see him as selfish and inexperienced, enjoying his own reckless behaviour. Well, whatever the case may be, for me he's a solid, decent protagonist. Assassin's Creed Rogue introduces us to Shay Cormac, a former assassin who goes through a significant change and joins the Templars. Shay becomes disappointed with how the Brotherhood operates, which causes him to question his own beliefs. This internal struggle leads him to make calculated decisions and ultimately leave the Assassins. He is driven by a strong sense of doing what's right, believing that it's crucial to stop the Assassins from causing further harm. When Shay joins the Templars, he isn't completely sold on their beliefs. He sees them as a means to end, working together to take down the Assassins. And as the game goes on, Shay starts to understand the Templar ideology better and realizes he agrees with a lot of it. He changes a lot as a character by the end of the story. Shay feels very relatable because he's so human, and I think that everyone can connect with him in some way. It's just a bummer that Assassin's Creed doesn't really give any interesting characters more games, and I really wish Shay's story had been explored more. Now, you may be wondering why I only included half the Fry twins in my ranking. While personally for me, both Jacob and Evie are completely different characters. They both have different goals and motives, but I'm somebody that prefers Evie. I mean, it's pretty obvious by my profile picture. Nevertheless, when it comes to Jacob Frye, he may not be as smart as Evie. However, Jacob is the most fun protagonist that we've had in Assassin's Creed. His confident and charming personality lights up the game as he explores the streets of Victorian London. Jacob's main mission in the game is to actively track down and take on the Templars, a role he thoroughly enjoys. Oh, and he likes to form gangs as well. He's definitely one of the more aggressive characters in the series, but a lot of people dig his vibe and captivating charm. He's like a breath of fresh air, bringing something completely different to the table and standing out from the crowd. You know, he's all about causing chaos, all with a big grin on his face. And he does this always managing to somehow mess something up. Jacob is an assassin that always makes smart jokes. I mean, yeah, not all of his jokes are spot on, but some of them do kind of crack me up. I wouldn't say he straight up mocks the whole franchise of Assassin's Creed, but I do get how some diehard fans might see it that way. When it comes to ranking him, he's definitely not on the level of remembrance as the top 4 or top 3 in the series, so I think where I have him right now is a solid spot. Now, I know what you're thinking, Altair this high up? That's simply outrageous. Well, first of all, you have to remember that this is my ranking. And secondly, Altair was a character that only got likable when he was older. I mean, just think about it. Altair is the first assassin you play as, and he has a special role in the series. And as the initial historical protagonist, he was an important figure in the game's story. And although he appeared somewhat calm and collected during his assassinations, his finesse and flair was somewhat lacking. It was clear that Ubisoft prioritized testing the gameplay and world in the first game, rather than giving meticulous attention to the character's development. The story takes Altair on a journey that teaches him valuable lessons, showing that he can grow and change. And even though it was meant to be that way, the game doesn't quite make us instantly warm up to Altair. At first, he's often showed as a flawed character who needs to change and develop as the story unfolds. He was often rude, dismissive and arrogant. But in Assassin's Creed Revelations, it reveals a whole different aspect of his personality. As time passes, Altair grows wiser and shows a friendlier side to him. And as time goes on, he becomes the mentor of the Assassin Brotherhood and introduces new advancements to their technology. Altair, who's a strong character with a fulfilling journey in the first game, showcased personal growth and development. Although there was room for him to have an even greater impact, he remains a valuable conduit for exploring the rich world of Assassin's Creed 1. Okay, now for the second half of the Frye twin, and that is Evie Fry, who's the smarter and more determined character. And as one of the Frye twins, she brings up a unique perspective and a range of skills to the world of Victorian London. Her cleverness and unwavering commitment to the Assassin Brotherhood defines her character. She carefully plans her actions and uses stealthy takedowns to move through the dangerous streets of London, which is the complete opposite of what Jacob Frye does. You see, when compared to her brother's involvement in the gang war, Evie's primary focus lies in locating the Piece of Eden within London, striving to be the first to reach it. And while both Frye's siblings are popular protagonists, I personally favour Evie due to her captivating and determined personality, and also her combat style. These factors for me personally give her the edge over her brother. Even her relationship with Henry Green is pretty interesting too. From the very beginning of the game, you can tell there's something going on between them two. And there's a secret as well. If you collect all the pressed flowers in the game, there's a secret cutscene where Henry Green proposes to Evie Fry. And they eventually get married and move to India. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to Evie. Bayek of Siwa, one of the few remaining Magi in Egypt, and he takes center stage as the main protagonist in Assassin's Creed Origins, alongside his wife Aya. They form the Hidden Ones, which is the precursor to the Assassin Brotherhood. Initially focused on safeguarding his community, Bayek's mission takes a drastic turn when his son Kemu is killed. Now for me, among all the protagonists in Assassin's Creed, Bayek is one of the more unique ones, because his emotions and religious beliefs are thoroughly explored. He can be friendly and kind to civilians, but when it comes to his enemies, he shows a brutal and fierce side. This stark contrast makes him truly stand out. His strong bond with Egypt is profound, and we witness his unwavering determination to seek justice and safeguard his fellow citizens. This resolute devotion to his homeland not only showcases his commitment as a person or a Magi, but also emphasizes the significance of preserving cultural heritage and even shielding the vulnerable. Now we're coming up to the remaining two, and to be fair, the only difficult decision for me was between Bayek and Edward. However, I ultimately decided on Edward Kenway being my second favourite protagonist. He is the adored hero of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and he wins over everybody with his spirited and charming nature. As a Welsh pirate assassin, Edward's unquenchable thirst for riches and renown drives him to take on the role of an assassin, but when he uncovers the schemes of the Templars, his loyalty shifts completely to the Brotherhood, and he devotes his life to their mission. Edward goes through a really interesting transformation in Black Flag that's super cool to see. At first, he's shown as somebody reckless and not taking things seriously, always avoiding any responsibilities. He doesn't care about the war between the Assassins and Templars. He just wants to get rich quick, which you can't exactly blame because he was a pirate. But as Edward meets more people, his perspective starts to change. He realizes he can't keep living a life without a purpose or direction, and as Haytham's father and Connor's grandfather, Edward Kenway's role adds complexity to the story of Assassin's Creed. The connections within the Kenway family reveal the ongoing battle between the Assassins and Templars, highlighting how our choices can have a lasting impact on future generations. Edward's journey throughout Black Flag will resonate with a lot of people. We all reach a point where we must face our duties, just like Edward did. Many of us tend to avoid them, just like he did. And to make things even more exciting, his story ends in an amazing way that I won't spoil for you. So if you haven't played Black Flag, I highly recommend it. How could I not put Ezio as my favourite? I just simply cannot place him any lower. Many people unanimously consider Ezio Auditore to be the best protagonist in the series, and unlike any other character, we witness Ezio's entire life, from his birth till his death. And if you're wondering where we witness his death, I highly recommend watching Assassin's Creed Embers. It's a short film that is very emotional, so be prepared. Anyway, back to the games. Ezio's transformation is remarkable, beginning as a charismatic Italian nobleman in Assassin's Creed 2, and maturing into a resolute and honourable master assassin in Brotherhood and Revelations. It stands as one of the greatest stories in the franchise, and not even just in Assassin's Creed, I'm talking about in any form of media. Ezio's charisma and understanding are undeniable, his charm is simply irresistible, and he has a deep affection for his loved ones, and it's truly heartbreaking when you see them suffering or dying. Despite experiencing significant losses, Ezio never wavers in his resolve to free the world from those who seek to control it. His trilogy tells a captivating story that showcases his personal growth and expands the Assassin's Creed universe. Along his journey, Ezio uncovers the secrets of the Piece of Eden, gets caught up in the ongoing conflict between the Assassins and Templars, and explores fascinating cities like Florence, Rome and Constantinople. These aspects solidify Ezio's position as my personal favourite protagonist in the Assassin's Creed series. So there you have it. When it comes to my favourite protagonists in the Assassin's Creed series, there's a few standout characters who have left a lasting impression. Each of these individuals bring their own unique qualities and stories to the franchise, making them unforgettable. And while Ubisoft in recent years hasn't really given us any memorable protagonists, well except for Bayek, I do truly hope in Assassin's Creed Mirage they don't somehow screw up the character of Basim. I want to feel some emotional attachment to him, and not just another main character that's thrown into the mix that's not even an assassin. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video, you can help me out by just simply clicking that subscribe button. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.